I'm an architect, and for an architect, context is everything. So I've always worked with the context, so it's nothing new. So for the last 40 years, I've just confronted the context in which I live. So for me, this is totally normal. Sometimes the situation is more dire than other moments in time, but basically I'm always doing exactly the same thing. I respond to the context. But particularly now, the context is more dire than ever. You know, there have always been millions and millions of refugees around the world. Now we are up to 120 million refugees. So it's a problem that exists, and it's a very serious problem that the world does not want to confront. As you know, the EU is paying Turkey, Lebanon and Jordan to house 15 million refugees that were rejected by Europe, and they send them to refugee camps in those countries, and the EU is financing those camps. The last report from the World Bank indicates that there will be 500 million refugees by the year 2050. So in the next 24 years, we're going to multiply by 4 the amount of refugees that exist today. So it is a serious problem that requires a serious political solution. First of all, I don't believe that if we deal with poverty, we have to use poor means to represent poverty. So basically, the beauty is because I want to dignify my subjects. They deserve to be dignified like any other subject in the world. Second, in the case of these works with mirrors, I was looking for a space of encounter between my audience and people that they don't know, they don't want to meet, and they have never met. So the mirror is a symbol of the narcissism of our society. So I thought, I'm going to use the mirror, instead of showing your face, I'm going to use it for you to encounter someone else. So that is the logic, the strategy behind those works. And of course, the image is in these light boxes, and instead of facing you, the light box is facing the wall, because society doesn't want to see these people. And so I've created the mirror in order for you to see them. When I look at the refugee situations around the world, I think we are all victims, because we should all assume the responsibility of what's happening. And so I don't do a work at a distance. I travel there, I meet people, I talk to people, I understand their plight, and I try to understand the full context before acting. And so I identify with these realities and I respond to them. It is true that I have the privilege of being an observer, an outsider, and I go in and I go out. That is true. But I try with my work to respond to this tragedy in the most powerful way possible, to involve you, the audience, to respond to their plight.